How did the United States expand from 13 states along the Atlantic coast into a nation stretching across the North American continent? The answer lies in the historical process known as westward expansion. During the 19th century, millions of Americans migrated westward in search of land, economic opportunity, religious freedom, and new beginnings. This movement transformed the geography, economy, population, and national identity of the United States. Westward expansion was therefore not simply a movement of people, it was a major process of territorial growth, political development, exploration, settlement, and nation-building. At the end of the American Revolution, the United States occupied territory primarily along the eastern part of North America. However, the new nations soon began to expand beyond the Appalachian Mountains. The availability of land, the development of transportation, and the desire for economic opportunity encouraged settlers to move westward. One of the most significant events in this process was the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. President Thomas Jefferson purchased the Louisiana Territory from France. This acquisition approximately doubled the size of the United States and gave the country control of extensive lands west of the Mississippi River. The purchase also secured access to the important port of New Orleans and strengthened American control over the Mississippi River, which was essential for trade and transportation. To learn more about the newly acquired territory, Jefferson commissioned Meriwether Lewis and William Clark to lead an expedition across the continent. Between 1804 and 1806, the Lewis and Clark expedition traveled from the Mississippi River to the Pacific Ocean. The explorers mapped geographical features, studied plants and animals, documented natural resources, established diplomatic contacts, and gathered information about the diverse indigenous nations they encountered. Sacagawea, a Shoshone woman, played an important role in the expedition as an interpreter, guide, and cultural intermediary. The expedition expanded Americans' geographical knowledge and encouraged further exploration of the Western territories. During the first half of the 19th century, westward movement became increasingly associated with the idea of manifest destiny. Manifest destiny was the belief that the United States was destined to expand across the continent. Supporters viewed expansion as an opportunity to extend settlement, agriculture, commerce, Republican government, and American institutions. This belief became an influential element of 19th century American political culture. Several important routes facilitated migration to the West. The Oregon Trail carried settlers from the central United States to the Pacific Northwest. Other routes, such as the California Trail and the Santa Fe Trail, connected eastern communities with western territories and commercial centers. The journey west was often long and demanding. Families traveled in covered wagons, crossed rivers and mountains, and established new communities across the continent. Despite the difficulties, many migrants were motivated by the prospect of owning land and improving their economic circumstances. Territorial expansion also involved important political developments. Texas declared its independence from Mexico in 1836 and was annexed by the United States in 1845. The Oregon Territory became another major area of American settlement. Through diplomatic negotiations with Britain, the United States secured control of much of the Pacific Northwest in 1846. The Mexican-American War, fought between 1846 and 1848, resulted in a further major expansion of American territory. The Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo transferred extensive lands to the United States, including present-day California, Nevada, Utah, and parts of several other western states. This acquisition gave the United States territory extending from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. In 1848, the discovery of gold in California accelerated westward migration. The California gold rush attracted hundreds of thousands of people from different parts of the United States and the world. Migrants arrived from Latin America, Europe, China, Australia, and other regions in search of economic opportunity. California's population grew rapidly, and the territory was admitted to the Union as a state in 1850. The gold rush contributed to the growth of towns, businesses, transportation networks, banking, agriculture, and westward expansion was further encouraged by government legislation. The Homestead Act of 1862 offered settlers access to federal land if they lived on it, cultivated it, and fulfilled certain legal requirements. This policy encouraged farmers, families, immigrants, and formerly enslaved people to establish homes and agricultural communities in the Western Territories. The development of the railroad also transformed westward settlement. The first transcontinental railroad was completed in 1869. It connected the eastern and western parts of the United States and significantly reduced travel time across the continent. The railroad facilitated the movement of passengers, goods, mail, agricultural products, and industrial materials. It also encouraged the growth of towns and markets along its routes. Chinese immigrants made a particularly important contribution to the construction of the western section of the railroad, while many other workers helped build the eastern lines. As Western territories developed, they gradually became states. New state governments were established, political institutions were created, and local communities became incorporated into the federal system. This process extended American representative government across an increasingly large territory. Westward expansion also brought sustained interaction between settlers and indigenous nations that had inhabited the continent for centuries. These nations possessed distinct political systems, languages, economies, traditions, and relationships with the land. Expansion profoundly transformed their territories and ways of life. Treaties, migration, trade, conflict, negotiation, and cultural exchange all formed part of this complex historical process. The Western Territories also became places of considerable cultural diversity. Indigenous peoples, European American settlers, African Americans, Mexican Americans, Chinese immigrants, and migrants from many other backgrounds contributed to the development of Western communities. Their experiences shaped the multicultural character of the American West. Economically, westward expansion increased agricultural production, expanded trade, encouraged mining, and created new markets. The West supplied wheat, cattle, minerals, timber, and other resources to the growing national economy. New roads, canals, railroads, and telegraph lines connected distant regions and strengthened economic integration. Westward expansion also influenced American culture. The frontier became associated with ideas of independence, perseverance, mobility, self-reliance, and opportunity. Stories about explorers, pioneers, cowboys, miners, settlers, and railroad workers became an enduring part of American literature, cinema, and national memory. Westward expansion transformed the United States from a relatively small Atlantic republic into a continental nation. Through territorial acquisition, exploration, migration, settlement, legislation, transportation, and state building, the country extended its boundaries to the Pacific Ocean. The movement westward created new states, communities, industries, transportation networks, and economic opportunities. It also brought together diverse peoples whose experiences contributed to the development of the American West. The enduring significance of westward expansion lies in the way it reshaped the geography, economy, political institutions, and national identity of the United States. It remains one of the most important chapters in the history of American growth and nation building.